I live in the Middle East. I don't know what to do about my dog walking on the hot asphalt in the summer. What do I do about that? Hey guys, this is Martin Wright from Argos Dog Training, and that question is a question from someone named Ice. They dropped it in our Ask Argos, and we're going to answer that. We've had 3 videos, I think, or 2 videos in Ask Argos in which we weren't able to answer this question. We're waiting for the right temperature. Now is the time. All right, so for heat and asphalt, if I'm gonna walk my dog in the middle of the summer in a hot region, then I'm gonna make sure that the first thing I'm gonna try to do is walk the dog when the sun is not at its full peak, preferably early in the morning, maybe even before the sun comes up, or evening after the sun goes down. That's the best time to exercise your dog outside if you're gonna have to use hot pavement. How do you tell if the sidewalk is actually too hot for your dog? It's easy. Put your hand down on the sidewalk. I put it palm down on the sidewalk, and if I cannot hold it there for 10 seconds, then to me it's too hot for the dog, right? Dogs, they walk, their feet, they pick them up, kind of like how a waiter would move their fingers under the plate in order to make sure it doesn't get too hot for them. That's how they could carry hot plates. They kind of wiggle their fingers around. So it would be like this, you know? Like the plate would be here, and then they'll hold with those, oh, this is great. It'd be like that, and then they go like that, and then they go like that, and then they get that thumb out of there somehow. I don't know how they do it. They're magic. But yeah, so just like that, the dogs are walking and they don't have their feet on the ground for the whole time, right? It's a quarter of the time, maybe a half of the time, each foot is on the ground. So I hold for 10 seconds. If I can't hold it there for 10 seconds, then it's too hot. The pavement is too hot. And then I try to look for a cooler time of day. Other things that you can do. I know in Boston, there's a lot of hot pavement, but next to the sidewalk, there is a little strip on the street side that is grass. So I might walk on the pavement while my dog walks on the grass. That's an excellent thing to do. That's gonna help. Boots can definitely help, but you wanna check and you wanna try to get some kind of insulated boots. Any boot will provide some protection from the heat, but really, you want it to be insulated. That's going to give you the most amount of protection, or give your dog the most amount of protection from the heat. To me, what's more important than the hot pavement, because really the hot pavement, we could just walk at a cooler time of day when the sun is not directly beating down on it. What's more important, though, than the hot pavement is the effects of heat on our dog, you know, heat stroke, which is very common with dogs, especially in the summertime. Symptoms of heat stroke is increased anxiety, whining, barking, trembling. Those are things that you definitely want to look out for. Heavier, faster panting, seeking shade, being reluctant to move, trying to cool themselves just by being still. Excessive drooling, excessive thirst, increased thirst, wanting to drink a lot of water. Those could be signs. Increased heart rate, of course. Temperature above 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius. This will be rectal temperature. The gums of the dog will become dark red, a deeper red or a purple, and it'll also be dry to the touch. That's a good way to tell if your dog is suffering from heat stroke. Vomiting, diarrhea, mental dullness. You know, they're not gonna be able to pay attention the way that they normally do. Glassy eyes. When you get into the more serious symptoms, you might see wobbling, you might see general weakness, difficulty breathing, collapsing. Seizures can occur from too much heat. And then, of course, passing out, loss of consciousness, and eventually death. So that's important, you know. Some of the causes of heat stroke, of course, is heat. Heat is commonly occurring like in a hot car or something like that, someplace with bad ventilation. Hot day does not mean hot car. In other words, to me, 60 degrees is okay. But if I have a black car or a dark car and I park in the sun and I leave the windows up, that car, inside that car could be very hot, and that could lead to heat stroke as well. So dogs that are most susceptible to heat stroke are dogs that, of course, are obese. You know, if the dog is out of shape, if the dog is too large, they can't move around well even on a regular day, then on a day when there is excessive heat, they're more likely to succumb to that heat stroke. Dogs with short noses, dogs like bulldogs, French bulldogs, American bulldogs, Pekingese, and dogs like that have the short brachiocephalic noses, those dogs will tend to be more susceptible to heat stroke. Dogs actually, they're on the side of their nose, they actually expel heat from there. And with the short nose, the area where they're able to expel heat is very small. All right, young dogs and small dogs. Small dogs, of course, you could understand that. Young dogs tend to be small too, especially like 8-week-old, 12-week-old puppies. Dogs with health conditions like heart disease, or some kind of lung disease, breathing diseases, those dogs, of course, will be more susceptible to heat as well. So if they have pre-existing conditions that deal with the heart or the lungs, you want to be extremely careful with those dogs. So with heat stroke, how do we treat it? For me, my personal dogs, I would want to bring them to the vet as soon as possible. One thing is making sure that I move the dog to a cool, quiet area. If I'm gonna put them in, so first, if I notice my dog is having symptoms of heat stroke, I might bring them inside, you know, first, and then I'll go start my car, turn on the air conditioning in my car before I bring them out to the car, right? I would also want to do what I can to cool the dog down physically, you know? So once I bring them in the house, I go start my car, turn on the air conditioner, I might come back in and I'll wet the dog's fur down. You know, I will use a sponge and drip water on his head. I would use wet towels maybe to wrap the dog completely, making sure it's on his stomach and under the armpits and also on the pad. I would make sure I wet this part of the dog as well. I would get on the forearms. That's where the blood is closest to the skin. I'd refresh that frequently. So as soon as I feel it like getting a little bit warmer, I'd want to make it cold again. I would want to check the dog's body temperature. I would check it regularly until the body temperature falls down to about 103 degrees Fahrenheit, 39 degrees Celsius, something like that. Remember, normal body temperature for a dog is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's the most important things right there that I would do if I wanted to take care of my dog at home. I would definitely cool them. I would make sure I don't submerge their head underwater. I would make sure that I use a lot of towels. I refresh those frequently. I would check the dog's temperature to make sure it's going down. But to tell you the truth, if I can, I would take the dog to the vet as soon as possible. Once you get to the vet, you want to still try to keep your dog as cool as possible. It may be a good idea to call the vet in ahead of time as you're on your way, so that way they're able to prepare for the dog that's coming in. Check other links. I'm sure that Frank will put some links in the description from different websites to talk about this. This is an important thing. As a matter of fact, just last week, I had a person call me who I'm pretty sure their dog was undergoing heat stroke. You want to get that dog to the hospital as soon as you can, you know, if that's the case. All right? I hope that you enjoy. I hope that you found this information helpful and useful, and I hope that you enjoy our channel. Definitely subscribe. It means a lot. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Frank. If you like what you see and you want to learn more about Argos dog training, check the description. If you like what you see and if you want to learn more about Argos dog training, check the description below for links to our other social media. Until the next time, enjoy your day and enjoy your dog. Just a word. Next. What's the other one? Oh, moving on. Here we go. Moving on. Check this out. I don't know if there's any more.